The Klamath Basin bald eagles are much more than a symbol for America. They're the physical embodiment of an American conservationist success story.
It just so happens that on December 28th of this year, 2023, will be the 50th anniversary of the Endangered Species Act, which was enacted by Congress, of course, December 28th of 1973.
It's been 50 years since Congress passed the Endangered Species Act, credited with saving America's most treasured animal, the iconic bald eagle.
The Endangered Species Act is really the world's most successful wildlife conservation statute. It's been responsible for bringing back many iconic species like the bald eagle. It has a remarkable record of success.
When the Endangered Species Act passed 50 years ago, it marked a key inflection point in our history and culture, as we witnessed in our country the catastrophic decline of some of our most iconic species, the bald eagle.
Nowhere in the continental United States is this more true than here in the Klamath Basin, hosting the largest concentration of wintering bald eagles in the lower 48 states. As many as 1,000 eagles occupy the refuge complex during the peak months of January and February. These birds reside in the lower Klamath Lake and Tule Lake, the largest protected wetland areas in the West.
On this anniversary, I'm thinking about extinction and what it means to vanish from existence.
This is the result of destructive pesticide use infiltrating the reproductive success of eggs through embryonic failure and chorion thinning.
And one of the reasons why the Endangered Species Act was passed was to protect the bald eagles, which were in danger of extirpation, which means their numbers were dwindling for various reasons. One was because of pesticides. That was probably the primary reason that their numbers were decreasing.
Standing as a keystone species and providing the ecosystems with vitality and balance as an apex predator, the eagle provides regulation in its prey's numbers.
Primarily they eat fish, the bald eagles. Probably over 50% of their diet is fish, and the rest is birds, waterfowl, for example. That's what they're doing here this time of the year, and then mammals. They're opportunistic. They don't have any problem eating roadkill.
Today, recovery has proven possible due to decades of conservation efforts and extensive funding, but our water crisis is yet again threatening their numbers.
I stand before you today to address a critical issue that is affecting the livelihoods of countless Americans.
Interestingly, the water utilized by farmers is channeled to the Klamath Basin Refuge. A lack of water for farmers translates to a shortage of water for these wetlands. Consequently, the absence of water affects the waterfowl and animals that serve as prey for eagles.
The refuges are the last ones to receive water, and it's really, it's not that they get water, it's more of agricultural runoff is how they get water.
But they need water now.
The contradictory opinions of both our tribal community and farmers in times of drought has left our refuge ravaged by low water levels.
So the numbers are not there for waterfowl like they used to be in the past, and so eagles have responded and their numbers aren't as high.
The Lost River and short-nosed suckerfish are crucial components of the Klamath, Modoc, and Yehuskin tribal rituals, while the 200,000 acres of family-owned farmland requires consistent irrigation to sustain their crops. Both struggle to agree with each other in times of environmental unpredictability.
Historically, the Klamath Basin has hosted large numbers of waterfowl in the wintertime because of the marshes and the lake, and because we've been in a drought, a severe drought actually since 2001. Waterfowl numbers are down, and so the eagles looking for a food source during the winter, their numbers are also down.
Over 353 bird species rely on these nesting grounds year to year and season to season, as the dynamic ebb and flow of wildlife is the process of constant change. Without the water, the eagles, preying mainly on the abundant waterfowl species, are left to starve off or leave to another area. This weakens the ecosystem's fitness as a whole and piles pressure upon organisms to adapt quickly for survival.
Historically, they've lived here before man was even here because of the food source. We have lakes and rivers that contain the fish that the wild eagles feed on. And then during the wintertime, when these lakes freeze up around the northwest, as far away as British Columbia in Canada and Idaho, northern Washington, the eagles would all migrate here during the wintertime and follow the waterfowl, which was a food source for these birds over the eons during the wintertime.
We must take action to provide equal water accessibility to all, and put aside our differences to again save this beautiful species. I believe that with the correct mindset and legal direction, we can find the best way to approach this conflict and strategize our dwindling resources for this avian wonder to soar for future generations to come.